today with us. So if you would not like to be recorded, keep that camera off, and you can turn your microphone off as well. If you are okay with it and like to participate, we'd love to hear from you. And one more note is we have families who are getting interpretation today, which means we're going to be pausing every couple of slides to make sure that our families and our interpreters have time to understand what we are saying live. And we have the ability to introduce our interpreters as well. And they are currently on the phone with other families. So interpreters, if you would like to, you may also just say hi. Wave and say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Alrighty, with that, we shall move on to our meeting. Thank you so much, interpreters, for helping out our families. And we are going to start with a little introduction of each of our second grade teachers.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. My name is Michelle Pinizzato. I'm one of the second grade teachers at South Shore. And here's just a little bit about me. I really enjoy camping and hiking. I love gardening. I love spending time with my husband and my family. Over here, I have some pictures of this is my sister. This was a few years ago. She's almost a teenager now. That's Miss Thompson. And then over here, my niece, Zoha. We have a 2-year-old cattle dog named Augie. He's our little baby. And I love to eat and cook. And seafood is my favorite food. So that's just a little bit about me. Next, we'll be hearing from Ms. Thompson.
Hello, everybody. I'm Miss Thompson, and these are a couple pictures that introduce me as well. I am a huge Mariner fan, whether, well, 95 was the last time I really cared, but I love them no matter what. Good, bad, I love them. Always visit those games. I have also started my teaching career abroad, and that class picture is my first grade class in Alexandria, Egypt. And yes, I only had 7 students. It was amazing. I am also love to travel, and last summer I was in Kenya on an African safari, and I met a mama lion carrying her little cub with her. And I am also in love with books and visited a library last summer, and randomly enough, a llama showed up. So I decided I needed to take a selfie with the llama. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, I'm Terry West, one of the other second grade teachers. I've been at South Shore since 2010, and this is my family. I have 2 boys, as you can see, and a daughter. And my grandson was Tigger for Halloween. He doesn't like taking pictures. As soon as he sees a camera, he runs. So I had to snap it really quickly. I like flowers, so I like to garden as well. And here's a picture of me at the gum wall down at the Pike Place Market. And I also like to crochet. And then this is just one of my designs. I like to do different designs, but generally I just like to make just Afghans that go across your lap or over your shoulders while you're watching TV. And I like to go down to the market and down to the water. So that's just a picture of the big wheel. I haven't been on it yet because I'm afraid of heights. So that's just a little bit about me.
All right, so now it's time for us to play a little game. So for this game, we're going to ask everyone to please turn their cameras off, and then we're going to read some statements out loud. And if you like the options we mentioned, you're going to turn your camera on if you like it. After each question, you'll turn your camera back off. So let's do a practice round together. So let's all turn our cameras off. Teachers, interpreters included, we're all going to play. I'll stop sharing for this.
And if you just give a few minutes for interpreters to catch up their families before moving on, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Ms. Pinizzato, there's a chat about Tinsay Mom's not getting the link to join. not sure how we can get to family.
Tinsei's in
I'll just call him in.
Miss West's class.
Okay, she's
Give me-
trying to join now. Tinsai's mom.
Great, good joining. Awesome. Thank you, Miss West.
There's Tinsei. All right, so as soon as you are ready, go ahead and turn your cameras off. This game is called Cameras On, Cameras Off. We're gonna wait a few more minutes until all of our interpreters are ready, but for now, we can all get ready just by turning our cameras off.
Interpreters, are we ready to go? Okay.
All right.
Family are.
Bit of an echo going on. I'm going to go ahead and mute all of the microphones to hopefully get rid of that echo. There we go. All right, so everyone, please turn your camera off. We're going to start with our cameras off. And our first statement is, I like pizza. So if you like pizza, you will turn your camera on. Perfect. Wonderful. All right, go ahead and turn them back off. Our next statement is, I like hiking. Go ahead and turn your camera on if you like hiking. Beautiful. All right, and you can go ahead and turn them right back off.
Okay, our next statement is, if you like Zumba, turn your camera on. Awesome. Thank you.
Our next statement is turn your camera on if you like to travel.
All right, that brings us to our last one. Go ahead and turn our cameras off. And then the last statement is, I know a second grader at South Shore. If you know a second grader at South Shore, go ahead and turn your camera off. All right. Awesome, awesome. Thank you all for playing. If you'd like to leave your camera on, you may. You can also turn it right back off.
So here's a fun one for me, Ms. Penizato. I am frozen on my end, so please let me know when my slide is ready.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yep, it'll be fun. Yay for technology.
Your slides ready.
Excellent. Here we go. So, everybody, I have a lovely little pie chart for you to look at, and there is some data on it. This is your student learning time, just at a year at a glance. And this is assuming that there are 6 hours of instruction, 180 days per year, and 8 hours of sleep every day. This means that at school, your child is with us for 1,800 hours per year. They are asleep 2,920 hours per year, and they are away from school for 4,760 hours per year. I'm going to give interpreters time to explain this data, and as we are waiting, I would like you all to think of the question, what are your thoughts about the pie graph? So use this time to think about, after looking at this pie graph, what are you thinking? Are you surprised? Do you have wonders? Take a second and think about that. And Ms. Pinizzato, I cannot see participants, so can you call on people who are able to have their hands up when we are ready to continue?
I'm going to try from my iPad.
Yep, that didn't work for me either, so.
So far, there's no hands.
Okay, no problem.
Compare and put in the chat too if they don't.
Absolutely. You can type what you notice about the pie chart. And this is assuming this is a regular year, not virtual. Right now, we say in school, that means like online in class, in a class meeting. Normally, it would be physically at school.
Oh, Miss West, you beat me. Oh, there we go. We got some ideas in the chat. Got some wonders. What percent is eating? That's a pretty fun one. I like that. The kids spend 55% of the time at home more than at school. I'm thinking that might be a wonder. And thinking that we were away from school might be bigger. That was a surprise. And then we also have no surprises. So I'm seeing a lot of ideas coming from this pie chart as well. So I want to wait a little longer for translation and give everybody a chance to answer in the chat. And if interpreters, if one of your families would like to say out loud what they are thinking, we can do that as well. But if not, totally fine. And the fun one for me is I can't see our interpreters either, Miss Pinizzato. So all is well in the world.
I see a hand that just went up. Was that Miss Tankara?
Yeah.
Aisha, what do you and your mom notice about the pie chart?
I forgot.
Aisha, was your mom surprised? Was she surprised, or was it just, did she have no thoughts towards it?
Surprised.
Surprised. Yep. I was too when I saw this pie chart as well. And interpreters, could you give us a thumb up so we know that we are able to move on to our next slide?
right, I see a thumb from Miss Lyon, a thumb from Mr. Tom. That's all I can see on my end. All right. All right, so yeah, one noticing is just that it feels like we spend a lot of time in school every day, but in reality, it's only 12% of the whole year. So we're gonna work on some strategies and some games that you can play when you're away from school at home. All right. So now we're going to go over our grade level skill that we're going to be focusing on tonight. And that's that students will be able to fluently add and subtract within 100 using place value strategies. And here are the 3 main strategies that we use during class time. And we're going to go over each one individually for both addition and subtraction. So first, we have vertical form, which is the way that most of us learned how to add and subtract in school. We actually wait until students have mastered the place value chart, which is in the middle of the screen, before moving on to vertical form. And another option is the break it down strategy. So right now, I'm first going to show you an example of how to solve a vertical form addition equation. I'm going to switch over to my iPad to give you guys a clear view of my whiteboard. All right. And Ms. Thompson, can you let me know if you can see my whiteboard?
Shoe. Here's the. You think it's a shoe, not a boot?
I cannot see your
I
whiteboard.
can see it.
I can see
it.
it. Connect that up.
You can see it.
There we go. I think that would be a better question. Don't ask me. Thank you
Okay.
for typing in the chat saying you can see it.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so it's very important for our students who are ready to solve vertically to line up their numbers properly. So that means their tens over their tens, their ones over their ones. And if we were to have hundreds, the hundreds over the hundreds. Let me just make sure you guys can see. Yep, it looks like we're in view. Okay.
You're muted.
Miss Pinizzotto,
You're
you are now
muted.
muted.
I had been muted. Sorry about that. Were you able to hear how I lined up the numbers? Tens over the tens, ones over the ones?
Yes.
No.
Okay, wonderful. So then our next step is to add our ones together. So 5 plus 8. And we could even do this over on the side as well in a horizontal equation. And we have 5 plus 8 is 13. And in 13, we have 1 10 and 3 1. So it's basically saying 10 plus 3. And Ms. Thompson is going to review the base 10 strategy, which is a more visual example of this as soon as I'm finished. So that might make a little bit more sense as to what I mean by 1 10 and 3 1s. All right, so our ones go in line with our ones. And our 10 goes up here with our tens. Then our next step is to add all of the tens together. So 1 10 plus 4 tens is 5 tens, plus 8 tens. Once again, we have 13. This time it's 13 tens, which is the same as saying 100 and 3 tens. All right. Now Ms. Thompson is going to show how we would solve this using our place value chart.
You're muted. Who's muted?
I think Miss Thompson actually got kicked out of the meeting. She is trying to rejoin. That's Teams for you. That's technology.
Oh, okay.
And I
Wait,
wonder
look
how
at
many
glitches.
times today I have to do that. Oh, wait, like 50. So here we go. I'm going to wait for interpreters to make sure we're ready to go first. And hey, look at that. I can see all of you. Interesting. I got a thumb up for Mr. Tom. Excellent. Let me see if I can go into a bigger gallery. Hey, look at that. Now it's working on my iPad too. So if you are with me usually every day, welcome to, iPad day. It's computer and iPad, especially when they don't want to work. So here we go. Gonna double check. Do I have a go for our place value chart strategy? Do I have a go? I think I have a go. Here we go.
Miss Thompson, I think it looks like Miss Ayana is still on the phone.
No problem. Thank you. I cannot see her, so thank you for the help.
Yeah, no problem.
I have the whiteboard ready, but I will not start yet.
She's giving you the thumbs up. You're good to go.
Here we go. So, same equation that Ms. Pinizzato just explained, except I am going to use what's called the place value chart. And yes, it is an example of a more visual strategy. So this is a lovely place value chart, and we label it HTO, hundreds, tens, and ones. First step for addition is we draw in both numbers that we're adding. And we draw in our tens and our ones. 45 has 4 tens, so I draw 4 tens. 45 has 5 ones, so I draw 5 ones. I now look at 88. 88 has 8 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I then see that it has 8 ones, so I draw 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, there we go, 6, 7, and 8. That is step number 1 for the place value chart. I'm going to change colors. The next step for addition with the place value chart is you try to make a 10. And in my mind, I'm thinking, ooh, 10 ones equal a 10. And the term that we use in second grade is to bundle to make a 10. Bundle means to group them together.
For just a moment.
Yep.
You're sharing great info.
Yeah, when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see.
Yeah. No, I think in between each step would be a
I
great
could do that.
opportunity to catch up.
And Miss Thompson, would you be able to stop sharing for just a moment? I want to show the families something. Okay, so another thing that we did give out in the very beginning of the year, hopefully yours lasted. We know most of them haven't. That's why we're now drawing our models. But we did give out paper versions of our tens, which show that there are 10 little ones connected together. And what Ms. Thompson's about to show you is that when you have 10 of these, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We bundle them together, and that actually makes 100. Okay, and so when you see us drawing like these big blocks, this is what we're doing. This is what we're modeling. And we call these our base 10 blocks. All right, Ms. Thompson, you can go back whenever you're ready.
Yep, just want to double check with my interpreters. I see we're still on the phone. Thank you everybody for your patience with our interpreters. I got a thumb up from Miss Ayan. Mr. Tom and Mr. Mulu, are we good to go for step number 2? Got step number 2 for Mr. Tom. We see Mr. Mulu still on his phone. And that's a thumb up. Here we go. Step 2. Nope. Timeout. Have to share the screen first. There we go. Oh, I don't want my snipping tool. Go away. There we go. So step 2 is when I am checking to see if I am showing my screen again.
Thompson, I'm sorry. It looks like, yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Trying again. All is well in the world. So step 2 is when I need to check to see if I can bundle, bringing my 10 ones to make a 10. And I see that I do have 10 ones. I actually have 13 ones. And I am going to bundle 10 of them, bring them over, bundle them, draw a 10, because I have made a 10, and I see that I have 3 extra ones. So then I know I have 3 ones left. And I will pause there and check to make sure I get a thumb up from my interpreters. Thank you, Aisha, for your thumb. Oh. Are we ready to go, interpreters, for continuing the steps? Sweet, there we go. Now, after I have bundled my ones, I now move to the tens place. And now I have to think to myself, how many tens equal 100? Ooh, same thing. 10 tens equal 100. So I have to bundle. And I'm gonna change my color. So I count my 10 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have bundled my 10 tens, and I bring them over to the hundreds and draw a square. And like Miss Pinizzato showed you, that block actually means 100, which is 10 tens. I then look at my tens place, look at my extras. I have 3 tens, and I know that that means 30. And at the end, last step is to count my hundreds. I see I only have 100, so I write in 100. And to end it, last step is to add my hundreds, tens, and ones. And I find out that 100 plus 30 plus 3 equals 130. Oops, go away. 33. Go away. Go away. Boom. So that is the place value chart. Like we said, is a more visual strategy that students are using. And when interpreters are ready for the next step, Miss West is going to teach break it down, which is our last addition strategy. Got a thumb up from Mr. Tom. Got a thumb up from Miss Ayan. Thank you once again, everybody, for your patience. And I got a thumb from Mr. Mulu. Miss West, take it over.
Awesome. I'm not as technologically challenged, so I'm going to use paper, which is my favorite. So I'm going to be teaching break it down. It's the same exact problem, but we're going to separate it or decompose the number, tens and ones. So 45 has 4 tens, 5 ones. 88, and I waited so that I could show you all, has 8 tens and 8 ones. Okay, so this is called a number bond, by the way. So you'll see students doing this. This is a number bond, part whole, part, whole. Okay, and I'll pause a moment. Okay, and then you're going to add your tenths. Okay, this is just for visual purposes. Usually I don't do that. So 40 plus 80, or 80 plus 40, same thing. Okay, that is our first step. That equals 120. And there are many different ways to do this. So, but this is the way that we're teaching through our Engaging Your curriculum. Okay, and then we still have 8 and 5. We still have our ones. So we have 120. Now we're going to add our 8 plus our 5. Okay. That gives us 13. It's just extra steps. Then we're going to add 120 plus 13. This marker is going out. And we get 133. So 120 plus 13 equals 133. Okay, and this is our break it down strategy where we take our numbers, we decompose them by tens and ones, then we add our tens, 80 plus 40, and we get 120, and then we add our ones, 8 plus 5, we get 13, and we take our two sums, 120 plus 13, and we get our final answer. And I wanted to add, Miss Thompson, when she was drawing, I was holding this up. This is called a flat. Okay, that's the term for math, and it's 100. This is a rod, which is 10, and this is called a cube, which is equals 1. Okay, so when you see students drawing flat, rod, and cube. Okay. All right, and that's our break it down strategy for addition.
Thank you, Miss West.
You're welcome.
And my teammates, I was looking at the time. Should we do subtraction and then together, or record ourselves doing subtraction and move on to our games? I was just checking the time. I see we're pressed for time.
We could do a quick explanation, or I can show the visuals, and we can send out the PowerPoint with the posters afterward. It's the same 3 strategies, but it's a little bit different. The steps are different when we are subtracting. I also want to give our interpreters a moment to explain the strategy Miss West just went over.
Okay, I can hold it up too. Thank you.
So these are the visuals that we will email out this entire PowerPoint. So you have these, and it has all the steps here for you. Ms. Thompson, will you let me know when our interpreters are ready to move on, and we'll quickly review the subtraction strategies.
There we go. I see Miss Ayana still on the phone. Mr. Tom is good to go. Got a thumb for Mr. Tom. Thumb up from Miss Ayan. Got one more.
I'm going to click over to our visuals of the subtraction strategies. And they're the same 3 strategies that we just went over. but for subtraction. So we have vertical subtraction, which instead of bundling or grouping to make a 10 or 100, we're unbundling or decomposing in this case, our 10. We're taking it over and we're moving it. So it's the same equation for all three strategies.
And you are ready to go. We got them up from all interpreters.
Okay. So, Ms. Thompson, we're just explaining this really quickly. We're not going to have time for the examples, correct?
I'm thinking the games are more important, so yes.
Okay.
And I can easily record these as well.
All right. I do want to just stop and ask if there are any questions so far about vertical form, place value chart, or break it down. You can type your questions into the chat or you can raise your golden hand. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Ms. Wynn. Ms. Wynn also just put a screenshot of these posters into the chat, along with some visuals of our 1,000 cube, our 100 flat, our 10 rod, and our single 1 cube. Okay. So now we are going to really quickly talk about why this skill is important to learn. So why is it important for students to be able to fluently add and subtract within 100 using place value strategies, which is an understanding of the hundreds, tens, and ones?
And so we are all wondering, we're all asking you, is why do you think this skill is so important for our second graders to learn? You can also give examples in the chat if you would like to answer using that as well. And I will type that in the chat as well. And some things that came to mind for me was, you know, when you are grocery shopping with your student, being able to add money together is always an idea. So important to use. And I already, wow, looks like me and a family member have a same thought process right there. There we go. We are able to use this foundational skill and apply it to real life situations from the chat, absolutely, as well. Is there one more? I'm gonna check to see if I have any visual hands. Don't got any visual hands, which is fine. And I will pause a little more time because maybe we have any ideas from our interpreters. But yes, keep those ideas coming through the chat if you would rather use the chat. And I welcome gifts as well because those always get the point across too. And Ms. West is giving us examples of other ideas to use this skill using flashcards and coins, money, other tools, so helpful. And then interpreters, if you could give us a thumb up when we are able to move on, that would be awesome. Seeing a lot of agreeing to the idea that this addition skill and subtraction skill is the the grounding? Nope, that's not the correct word. I have the idea. It's all good. The idea to start from the beginning, there we are, and moving up. Because in 3rd grade, your students will be learning multiplication and division, and with this foundational skill of addition and subtraction, it gets them one more step in the right direction.
Which brings us to the standard. The one we're focusing on today is that students will be able to fluently add and subtract within 100 using strategies based on place value, properties of operations, and the relationship between addition and subtraction. So this is the second grade standard, and it's very similar to the third grade standard, which
Students will be able to fluently add and subtract within 1,000 using strategies and algorithms. And algorithms are the examples that Ms. Pinizzotto was showing, and it's also in the chat, when we line the numbers up vertically in ones and tens. So we can use that with place value, chart flats, rod cubes, properties of operations, the relationship between addition and subtraction, and it's also helpful for multiplication, which starts in third grade.
Mm-hmm. So the key difference here is that we're focusing fluently within 100. We do go beyond 100 in second grade, but our goal is to become fluent with addition and subtraction to 100. And then next year, students will be expected to become fluent with adding and subtracting within 1,000. Fluently meaning they can do it quickly and accurately. They have an efficient strategy that they can go to solve both addition and subtraction. All right.
And interpreters, could you give us a thumb up when we are able to move on to our games? Got a thumb up from Miss Ayan. Thumb up for Mr. Tom. Waiting on one more. And if you are at home and we're able to pick up our games at school, we're gonna first start with roll it, make it, expand it. And once again, if you have not had the opportunity to get to school yet, the games are ready for pickup all week from 8 to 4.
All right. So, Ms. Thompson, did you say all thumbs were up?
Still waiting on Mr. Mulu.
Okay. As we're waiting, if you do have your materials, please take out this sheet. It should be in a plastic sheet protector so we can write on it with the whiteboard marker. So you'll need this sheet, your whiteboard marker, and your die. And that's it, those three things. The die, whiteboard marker, and this recording sheet. If your child is next to you, they can play along. We're going to give this a try. All right, Miss West is going to show her example.
Okay. So
And
we have a die.
Let me just make sure Mr. Mulu is ready.
Okay.
Yep, there's a thumb.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to spotlight Miss West, make her face big for everyone.
All
There
right.
we go.
So
Okay.
you shake it and roll it. And the first number that I got was a 5. So we're using our HTO, hundreds, tens, ones. Okay, so we're going to roll it 3 times. My first roll, I got a 5. And you can go ones, tens, hundreds, up to you. My next one, I got a 4. And I got another 5. Okay, so I have 545. Now I'm going to illustrate it by making it by using my flat, my rod, and my cube. Okay, so 500, I'm going to draw 5 hundreds. So I'm going to try to do it neatly. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. 500. There's 4 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, and there are 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to expand it, which means I'm going to decompose the number hundreds, tens, ones, and I'm going to write it. Okay, so I have 5 hundreds, 4 tens, 5 ones. Okay, so I decompose the number, and now I'm going to write the number. Okay, so each time you roll your die, it's a 9-sided die. You only need one. You roll it, and you're going to make the number, and then you're going to illustrate it, and then you're going to expand it. Put it in expanded form. And sometimes we have students do this multiple times. That's why we have the sleeve. So you can put it in the sleeve and then wipe it off and do it again for more practice. Okay, any questions?
And the main focus of this game, it is particularly focusing on addition, but it's really, really working on the skill of place value and separating those hundreds, tens, and ones, which is what we want students to have a very solid understanding of.
Yes. So they have a visual. Writing, making it by illustrating, and then decomposing the numbers, hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss West.
You're welcome.
So my next question for you is, what are some other ways to practice addition? I know Miss West dropped some hints in the chat earlier. You guys can drop it in the chat, or if anyone would like to share out, we would love to hear from you.
And I will put my 2 steps in. My family, we were a sports family. So basketball was it was a good sport that I always visited. Always watched the Denver Nuggets live, and about every 5 baskets, I was asked to add the score together. So sports was a good one for me because I was such a sporty person. So sports was the one way that I liked to practice addition. And we do see some ideas in the chat. We have playing Yahtzee, cooking, board games, football stats, Pokemon games, and mazes. Excellent ideas. We got a lot of thumbs up there. Perfect. Shall we move to our second game? Actually, wait. Do we have our interpreters ready to go? Let's check before I got a thumb up for Mr. Tom. Thumb up for Miss Ion. Ooh, Prodigy. I know my students love Prodigy. That is a good one. However, nowadays we have a whole bunch of screen time. So Prodigy, another one. Here we go. Now, game number 2 is on our screen.
Yes.
So for this game, you have a deck of cards to play this game, and you also have a visual that shows the jack, the queen, the king, and the ace. Because in our game, addition and subtraction battle, they're called face cards. These face cards have a different value. And the way we're going to show how to play this game is I need a partner, and I choose Miss West. Miss West is my partner.
And I want to say, take the jokers out.
Yep, that's the first step.
Yeah.
For our math game, do not use the jokers. They're fun little guys. Each deck has a different example of jokers. So here's my deck, and these are my jokers. Fun little people, but we don't need them, so we put them away. Sorry, jokers. You don't get to play. So with your students, with your partner, this could be a 2-player game, 3-player game. Your student could even play this by themselves.
Yeah.
Your first step is each player, Miss West and myself, we're going to take 2 cards. And I have chosen a 4 and a 5. And in my head, I know that is a 9.
Yes.
Miss West has what?
6 and 3.
Miss West has a 6 and a 3.
9.
And with this, we're going to use addition first.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 9. I see Miss West has 9. So mentally, we have to do the equation 9 plus 9 equals blank. And the first person who says the correct answer gets to keep the cards.
Right. All 4 of them. Yes.
Yes, all 4 of them. I'm thinking, Miss West, do you have the answer? Because I don't have it. What's the answer, Miss West?
18.
Oh, darn it. Miss West beat me, so I'm going to give her my cards. So she has my cards now.
Thank you.
And then we would take another 2 cards and play again.
Okay.
But what you can also do with this game is, instead of picking addition, you can choose subtraction. And this is how we would play the subtraction way. But before we do that, I assume we should wait for interpretation. Yes, I don't want to go too fast. Do. I got a thumb for Mr. Tom. Thank you so much, Mr. Tom. Got a thumb for, oh, yay, we got thumbs from everybody. Here we go. So, when we're using subtraction, once again, you take 2 cards and you add up what you have as a total. I have 14. And Miss West, what do you have?
I have 6.
She has 6. So now that we're doing subtraction, it's now turned into 14 minus 6 equals blank. And the person who says the answer first, once again, gets the cards.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the answer. I have no idea what it is. Miss West, help me out. You are muted.
7?
I don't is it 7? No, wait. Isn't it 8? Is it 8?
It's 8. You're right.
It's
Okay.
8. Okay, excellent. Thank you for your cards. Perfect. And so that is how you would play addition and subtraction battle with addition and who'da thunk subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, and I'll put it in the chat, how could you make this game either more challenging or easier? And as we're thinking about that answer, this is perfect timing for our translators to help our families at home. And I'll put the answer and I'll put the question in the chat. Spell it correctly. And total line. There it is.
Can you see my card? 9 plus 7. Miss Thompson, you're muted.
It's all the button pushing. Thank you, Hydra. Thank you, bud. Thank you for letting me know I'm muted. So helpful. So I think I was talking for a good 5 minutes without you being able to hear me. I put the answer question in the chat. If you would like to answer, how would you make that our game more challenging or easier? And I was thinking there's possibility of maybe instead of using 2 numbers, using 1 for making it easier. And then I thought of, for maybe making it more challenging, let's see here. Oop, there's one answer. Add another player to make it more challenging. Thank you so much for that idea. Ooh, I see typing. Oh, nope, I got a heart for it. Excellent. Even having your students have, instead of having them have add 2 numbers together,
Wait, you're muted.
You're muted again. Someone's muting her.
Someone's muting her.
I have a feeling that my children are used to this situation. Alrighty, y'all. All is well in the world. I think that is I think that's the, the moment for me to move on. I think that's what Teams is telling me to do. That's what Teams is telling me to do. So thank you, my students who are reminding me that I'm muted. So helpful. Moving on, Ms. Pinizot.
All right, our last thing that we would like you to do today is to think about how many times a week you can realistically practice playing these games or other games. I know I saw a lot of other great ideas in the chat, like Pokemon board games, other board games. We could do counting money. So I want you to think about how many times per week you could realistically commit to practicing with your child. It's only about 5 to 10 minutes. And I want you to set a mental goal. If you're visual and you want to write down your goal, you can absolutely do that. Just jot it down. But let's all take a minute to think how many times per week we can practice addition and subtraction math games with our children. And for about how many minutes? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? All right, and I'm realizing we are at exactly 2 o'clock, the end of our meeting today. I want to let you know that you can contact your teachers through email at any time. Our emails are up on the screen. We know you probably have them already saved in your phone or your computer. And we will have our second meeting on April 28th. We're going to get back with you on the time.
Yes, and we just want to thank everyone for your time and engagement and for being partners in educating our students during this difficult time.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was great seeing all of you. If you have questions, we are able to stay on. If you do not have any questions, once again, feel free to email us. If you don't have the question now and it comes to you at like 2 o'clock in the morning, definitely email us. Thank you so much for seeing.
Oh, you're muted again.
Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not allowed to speak, apparently. Thank you all, families. I'm not allowed to speak.
I have
That's a
a
nice
feeling.
effort.
I have a feeling.
I'm not allowed to talk, so I will use sign language for, thanking all of you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
waa mahadsantiin dhammaantiin imaashaha mateen miidinka nagala qayb qaadateen
Hey, Duke. Hey, Lynn.
Thank you, second grade team, and our translator. You guys have been awesome.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next meeting.
Yeah, there we go.
Bye.
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 Diyan na niya.
I miss you, Miss Thompson.
Miss you too, hon. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Haircut for my hair to be shorter. Because it was
Ooh,
very
I'm
long.
excited. Are you going to go as short as mine?
Oh, no. I
No.
already did it yesterday.
Okay. You're just getting a trim?
It's at least less short than last.